Hi there, I'm Clarence Waldron. Welcome back to Black Muse. Tonight's guest is the legendary Raymond Boyd. Oh, you have seen his work. He's been in Sister to Sister, he's been in Ebony, he's been in Jet Magazine, Right On Magazine. He's taken pictures of everybody, including Aretha Franklin, Nancy Wilson, my girl, Michael Jackson, and so many more. And right now, he has an exhibit here in town at the Chicago Hip Hop Heritage Museum. Check that out. But listen, I'm gonna stop talking and let's hear from the man himself, Raymond. What's up, bud?
How you doing?
All right. So let's start at the very top. You had a 14 photo exhibit that opened at the National Museum of African American Music in Nashville. How did that come about?
Well, that came about, I got an email from Dr. Brian Pierce. He wanted me to get in touch with him about a project he was involved in and wanted me to get involved in also. So he told me they were celebrating the 50 years of hip hop. And I wanted me to send him some photos to be part of the exhibit. And I sent him like about 300 photos, and he chose 14.
Okay, cool. So since then, now you have another exhibit here in town, the Chicago Hip Hop Heritage Museum. Tell me about that.
Right, Chicago was also celebrating the 50 years of hip hop. So I have photos there of everybody from Chub Rock to Run DMC to Chuck D, EPMD, Kumo D, Curtis Blow, LL Cool J, Roxanne Shante, everybody.
Everybody. I told y'all, everybody. Who are some of the people, some of the other names that you've photographed through the years?
Okay, well, this is a photo I have of Michael Jackson. That was backstage doing the Victory Tour at Comiskey Park.
I remember that.
Yeah, I remember. Everyone was like going to the back to see Michael first, but I stayed in the front with Mrs. Jackson and the rest of the brothers. So when I saw Michael back there by himself, I just went back there and just photographed him, just sitting there standing there by himself.
Wow. Okay.
Just wondering what he was thinking at that particular moment, because they were about to go on stage, so you never know what an artist was thinking right before they go on stage. So I captured that moment.
Yeah, I love it. What else you got? Go ahead.
Now, I couldn't come here without one of your favorite people.
Oh, one of my faves.
Aretha Franklin. That was taken.
Aretha Franklin. Wow.
That was a Mother's Day concert in Maryville, Indiana.
Okay, Star Plaza?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Was it just her that she had an opening act?
No, I'm not sure what the opening act was, but of course we know Aretha was the star of the show, so she was most important. So,
she was the star of the show, for sure. Cool. All right. What else you have?
Okay, another one of your favorite people, Miss Nancy Wilson.
I like this guy.
We just come from she just come from doing an interview with Ramsey Lewis on his radio show. So we were actually on Michigan Avenue waiting for the car to come pick us up. So I asked her if I could take pictures of her while we wait for the car. So she said sure. So
wow,
that's Miss Nancy Wilson.
Miss Nancy Wilson. Whew. All right, now let me calm down. What else you got?
Okay, now we have a young Brandy Norwood. This is when Brandy first came to Chicago at Club Entis.
Yes.
When her album first came out, she was doing an album release party at Club Entis.
Yep.
After the concert, they had her pose for me.
Yeah. And she's like 14 years old, something like that. Yeah. Real young.
Very young.
Brandy. Cool. All right. What else you got? Who else you got over there?
Okay, right
and
here.
And this is just a sample of what you have.
We have comedian Robin Harris. That was at the Regal Theater.
Oh, yeah.
And this was actually his last concert. Because after the concert, he passed away during the middle of the night.
Sure did.
So it was a sad moment, but a happy moment to photograph him, but a sad moment that it happened after his performance.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Good enough. So tell me about your very first photo that you did. First published photo.
Okay, this is Roger Troutman from Zap. That's my very first photo ever printed in a national publication, which was called Rock and Soul at that time.
Okay.
This is at the UIC Pavilion in Chicago, and I don't know what made me decide to send them some pictures, but I went to the store
Mm-hmm.
and looked at the magazine head, the masthead, and got the editor's name.
Mm-hmm.
So I sent photos to him and tried to get photos in the magazine, and Roger was a very first one.
Mm. Nice,
Yeah.
nice. Now, let's go back to the very beginning, Raymond. When did you start taking pictures? What led to that?
Okay, I first started taking pictures back in, I say once I graduated from high school. I mean, no, I'm sorry, I graduated from grammar school. My mother bought me this for high school, grammar school graduation. I keep saying high school, but grammar school graduation. Kodak 110 camera. That's what got everything started. Now, I never shot concerts with this camera, but when I would travel to visit my relatives, I would take pictures of the mountains in Denver or, around Cleveland,
Okay.
So this is what got me started taking pictures. But professionally, it was Chicago Defender Earl Calloway.
Okay, so let's jump into that. Tell me about him. How did he help you get into the...
Okay, Earl would always see me at different concerts backstage, and he would always ask me, who do I shoot for? So I would tell him that I just shoot for myself, just for fun, pretty much. So the last time I saw him was at the Cincinnati Jazz Festival. He mentioned to me again, who do you shoot for? So I told him I just shoot for myself, and he said that you have a talent, don't waste it. So he told me to come to his office and talk to him. So I went to his office and talked to him, and I became an entertainment photographer for Chicago Defender.
Okay, what year was that about?
I would probably say maybe
80 something?
Yeah, maybe early 80s.
Right, okay. Now, this is the Black Muse podcast, and I always ask our guests, who inspired you? Who inspired you?
Okay, well, the first inspiration came from my mother, from giving me this camera, of course.
From that camera, all right.
But on the professional level, it was a photographer named Jerome Simmons. He used to shoot for Black Stars magazine back in your day. I would always see Jackson 5 photos with the name Jerome Simmons Photography next to it, but never knew who Jerome Simmons was. So years later, I ended up meeting Jerome Simmons, and I told him he was the one who really got me sparked to take pictures. When I would see his Jackson 5 photos and put them on my wall. So from that point, Jerome became my idol.
Okay.
He was my the person who I looked to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's cool. That's cool.
And one thing I learned from Clarence when I started doing interviews is it's not that, even though you may have your questions written out, just carry on the conversation.
See?
Not to ask the questions like
Never knew.
like that.
Right.
It's like the photo I gave you of you and Donnell Jones. You sitting back,
Right.
and Donnell is the one that's close, but you
Right.
just sitting back, just having a conversation.
Right. Right.
And that's what I learned to do when I do
Okay.
interviews. Not to necessarily be robotic like, but just have a regular conversation.
Wow. So you never know who's looking
Right,
at you.
yeah, exactly.
You're a photographer, but you were still studying.
Yeah.
Love it.
You
Love
got
it.
quite an influence too, Clarence. You
Yeah.
still-
Yeah, and that's before I even started writing. I just looked back and saw how the way you handled, and you was never like starstruck. Maybe inside you were like I was,
Yeah.
but it never showed. So it's like just like you just sitting out having a conversation with a friend of yours.
Right.
So yeah.
Right. Wow. Well, thank you for
Mhm.
that. Now, and also your photos were in Sister to Sister, Right On, and all that. But I can't let you go without telling us about the very first photo you published in Jet or Ebony.
Okay, my very first
You gotta
photo,
do
my very first photo in Jet magazine was of Boys to Men.
Mm.
Now I don't know if you remember this, but this was when Boys to Men manager Khalil Roundtree was murdered in Chicago. You had reached out to me to find out if I had any photos of Khalil, which I had the photo of Khalil and Boys to Men that I shot in Jamaica. And also, thanks to you, the Associated Press got in touch with me also. So that photo went, we weren't saying viral at that time, but that photo went viral because everyone used it through the Associated Press. So, so that was another photo that was a happy moment, but a sad time.
Yeah. Now, you're also a contributor to Getty Images.
Right.
How did that come about?
Okay.
That's a long time, 14 years?
Right. Yes. Well, for people who don't know, Getty Images is the go-to stock agency when people need photos of anything. You go to Getty Images. I used to be with a company called Michael Oates Archives, which was Getty on a smaller scale. So back in '07, I received a letter from Michael Oates himself to let me know that Getty had acquired his company. And so I would be one of the photographers from Michael Oates that they would bring over on the Getty side. So I've been with Getty's for, going on 14 years.
Wow, okay.
So now my work is like worldwide, just all over the place now. You'll see Raymond Boyd / Getty Images and,
Wow, look at you. You've come a long way, bud.
Yeah, I sure have.
A long way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now you've had photos on Unsung, the very popular TV
Mhm.
show. Yeah.
Okay, now I've been with Unsung since the very first season back in '08. I received an email from Sharon Sanders about a show that they were putting together called Unsung. At the time, she asked me if I had photos of Phyllis Hyman and the Bars, which Phyllis Hyman was the premiere show. So I sent in photos of Phyllis Hyman, and they used photos of mine of Phyllis Hyman for the first episode. Then the fourth episode was of the Bars, so they used some of my DeBarge photos also. And I've been with them ever since.
Cool.
Going on season 17 now.
Wow. Wow. All right. I came across this great quote from you, Raymond. It says so much. Photography is not just what I do, it's what I am. Photography is not just what I do, it's what I am. Elaborate on that.
Okay, what that means is just that I'm just doing photography 24 hours a day. When I wake up, I'm at the computer editing pictures, working on pictures. You can call me any time of the day. What are you doing? I'm working on pictures. That's what pays the bills. That's what gets me going every day. Just photography.
Okay, love it, love it.
Mhm.
Yeah. Any advice for young folks when they come hear you speak or see your work? Any advice for anyone who wants to do what you're doing?
Well, I would tell them to definitely be into it for the love of photography. If you're trying to get published, put together some of your best photos. Find the editor's name in the masthead. Send your best photos and just send a letter along with what you do and what you would like to contribute to the publication. Whether it's sports, entertainment, weddings, whatever it is. Just put together your best photos.
Cool, cool. Anything else that you want to share since we got you right here?
I just want to thank you because I've known you throughout my career also, and just to thank you for having me here. I really appreciate that.
Oh, such a gentleman. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, great conversation. So viewers, please click like and subscribe. And before we leave, I have a quick little thank you that I want to give to Howard Sandifer and his wife Darlene Sandifer. They are the founders of the Chicago West Community Music Center, and they are the presenters of Black Muse. This is their project. This is their idea. So thank you to them. And that's about it. That is all, and that is why. See you next week. Thanks.